All right, so this is my top 25 Giallo films of all time. Um, it's kind of a cool little genre. I guess it's like a subgenre of horror and slasher. It's mainly so basically what a Giallo is for anyone who doesn't know is it's like Italian. So it's an Italian word for yellow, which is what they used to call these like murder mystery novels, because they all had yellow covers on them, but they were all just murder mystery whodunits. And then that phrase kind of, um, you know, crossed over into the film side of things, and so yeah, they kind of over time they kind of got more bloody and more gory and to like how they are now, and so just a few little tidbits of what qualified for my list, because I know like technically giallos or something is only considered a giallo if it's made in Italy, and there's people who are like so adamant about that. So for that purpose alone, I'm only including official like Italian films, but I'm gonna shout out a few other like movies that weren't made in Italy, in Italy at the end, because I feel like that they're still giallos in my mind, but I'm just gonna leave them off the list for now. Anyways, and yeah, so I wanted to make this video because I really got into them a few years back, and I was watching so many, and it's a genre that is really hit or miss for me. Like they're either I really love them or there's some that are just really bad. So I wanted to make a list, just putting my thoughts out there for anyone who might agree with my list or not, but just my personal opinion of the 25 best ones that I've ever seen. So yeah, so with that being said, I'll start with, so I'm gonna start with my number 26 and 25, because I was kind of flip-flopping between them. I wasn't sure, is this one 25, is this one 26, but I landed with my number 26 being Trauma by Dario Argento, one of his kind of more recent Giallo films. This one's okay. It has a cool killing tool, and it's probably like the best part of that movie. My 25, I chose Strip Nude for Your Killer, and I'm gonna quickly mention the directors as I go through this too. This one was Sergio Martino. Yeah. Oh no, sorry, no, it's not. It was Andrea Bianchi. Sorry about that. But my next film is Sergio Martino. But anyways, so this one, yeah, it's all right. The best part about this one for me was the killer. Has a cool biker outfit. Okay, my number 24 is The Case of the Scorpion's Tail. This is the Sergio Martino one. Yeah, this one's pretty cool. It has a pretty good ending. like where like it kind of takes place on a boat and like a little island. And yeah, so the ending was like the for me it was the best part of the film. And sorry, I'm gonna go through this a little bit quick just because there's a bunch here. So that would be my number 23, I believe, is The New York Ripper by Lucio Fulci. This one I had higher expectations because I had heard really good things, but for me it wasn't as good as I was hoping, but it was still cool. And the best part about this was that, well, for me anyway, was that the killer speaks in a Donald Duck voice, and I thought that was really creepy, and it was like, wow, that's a really good idea. Like to randomly throw that in there is like really out there, but it's like it works as like a really creepy thing to put in a movie. Like he'll stab someone, and like as he's like stabbing someone, it'd be like, and it's like it's like, holy shit, this is like, who thought of that idea? I guess it was Fulci, but it's a good idea. All right, my number 20, shit, I'm losing track here. 22, I believe, is A Blade in the Dark. So this is by Lamberto Bava, Mario Bava's son. And for me, it was his best Giallo film. This one is cool, and it has a lot of potential. And I felt like if like they had changed some things around and maybe had a different like ending, it would have been really good, because it has like it's really well paced, and it's about a musician, and he's kind of he has to write the score, or like write the music for a film. So it has like cool music, like him playing on his piano, and like a sequence of him doing that. And so it has really good potential and cool music in it too. So it's like, damn, I was liking this one, and I just wish it was a little bit better. But yeah, and it has a really cool kill scene in this too. Most people would probably remember that that scene. Okay, now my 21, I chose Torso, another Sergio Martino film. Yeah, this one it's really interesting because, well, first of all, I want to say that this probably has the sexiest girls, like in general, like all the girls in this. There's a lot of really sexy girls in this, probably out of any of these Giallo films. So that's one thing I wanted to note. But yeah, this one's interesting because I've never really seen a movie do this before, which was interesting, is like the climax of the film. So it's an hour and a half long, and basically the whole climax of the movie is the last half hour, which is really smart, and I feel like more movies should do that, because it like guarantees like 33% of your movie to be like really suspenseful. and it is like, she's like the last half hour of the movie or whatever, she's trapped inside with the killer, and she's trying to like maneuver her way out of that. But yeah, so for that reason, because for me the first hour was just kind of average, but the finale is what bumped it up higher for me. Okay, now my number 20, I chose Four Flies on Grey Velvet by Argento. This is a really interesting one. It was like one of the more harder Argento movies to come across and to find. But I eventually I checked it out, and it's like, yeah, it's a strange, kind of a strange one. Like it's really edited different from his other films at the time. But it's cool. Like it's still like there's something artistic about it, and I thought the twist at the end, because most of these Giallo films, they have a final reveal. So for me, the final reveal of this was actually pretty satisfying, and like kind of made everything kind of make more sense, and it worked, I thought. Okay, my number 19 is another Argento film, Sleepless. This one is really cool. It's got, so this one is almost kind of like the opposite of Torso. For me, the first like 20 minutes, half an hour was really, 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 really good. And I had high hopes, and then it kind of just slowly lost me. But there's also like some really, really, really well shot little scenes and stuff and throughout. But the first half hour was spectacular. Okay, so that means I think I'm on 18, I believe. And I chose What Have You Done to Solange? This is by Massimo Dallamano. This was a cool one. For me, this is one that was better than I was expecting. And it's like kind of takes place in like an all girls school kind of thing, and had an interesting story, and like kind of like a genuine mystery that you were trying to kind of figure out. So it has a good plot, and just executed like really nicely. So yeah, it's like for me, it's just like a really solid Giallo film. Okay, my next one. Are we on 17 now? Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're on 17. I chose Orgasmo. This is by, Umberto Lenzi. Yeah, that's right. This is my favorite Umberto Lenzi film. And it was actually the first one I watched. And so I kind of had really high hopes for his other films that I watched. And for me, they weren't as good. But yeah, this is a really, really interesting one. Because it is a Giallo, because of like the kind of the very end, I would say, kind of like qualifies it as a Giallo. And of course it's Italian and everything, but it's a really strange movie. Like, it's hard for me to describe it, but at the same time, it's really entertaining. And there's a song that keeps repeating throughout this movie, like over and over and over again. And by the end of it, it was like stuck in my head, and I'm like singing it like for weeks and stuff, which was hilarious. But yeah, definitely check this one out, Orgasmo. Okay, my next is number 16. We got Phenomena from Argento. This is a cool one, like, and I find it kind of, the more I thought about it, the more I liked it. It's interesting. There's like a monkey, like random chimpanzee, like in this one. Bugs, another kind of like schoolgirl, school, like a boarding house school for girls, a situation. Yeah, it's a cool one, and like I've always loved this cover art, and the writing was like, whoever designed that was a genius. And there's some really cool sequences in that. All right, my number 15, I chose Murder Rock, another Fulci film. Yeah, just look at this font. A lot of the Giallo films back then, and I mean a lot of movies back then in general, they always had really cool like looking fonts. So I feel like modern day needs to step up their logo game. But anyways, this one is like, for me, is like a guilty pleasure. It might not be for everyone that's like watching this video. It might not be for you, but for me, it's just something about it that is really entertaining for me, and it's fun. It's cheesy. It's pretty cheesy, but yeah, it's fun. And for me, the last, like the final scenes for me were like shot like, you know, extremely well. Really, really cool sequences. So I like that. I really like that one. My number 14 is The Strange Vice of Mrs. Ward by Sergio Martino again. This one, for me, it's kind of strange. This one was up closer in like the top 10 range. And then kind of, I found it more like slowly sliding down my list. And of course I rewatched a bunch of these while I was making this list. So, and I found, yeah, there's other ones I like better than this, that like jumped over it. But yeah, it's still a cool one. Some really cool sequences. The ending is good. And of course, Edwige Finish, this woman here, she always looks amazing on screen, and she has some really like iconic, like like her on camera makes things look better and shots look better just because of like her looks and everything. So yeah, anyway, it's a good solid one. Okay, so that was my, sorry. I believe that was my 14, so my 13. Yeah, that's my, yeah. Okay, so my 13 is Death Walks at Midnight. This is by Luciano Ercoli. This was a real surprising one. That I just threw it on, and I was like kind of not expecting much, because like I hadn't heard that much about it, and it was really, really fun. Mainly like the killer and how he's killing people is with this glove. It's like this glove with these fucking huge spikes on it, and he's like just mashing people's faces in and shit. And I was like, whoa, this is intense. And it's just, yeah, it's just kind of like a cool idea for a killer weapon. And also there's a few like memorable scenes where she's like in one apartment and she's witnessing the killing going on in like across an apartment across from her, and it's just a really memorable kind of like set for me, and just how they like shot some of those scenes and stuff. So yeah, it's a really, like, for me it was a real underdog, but it came through. Okay, now my number 12 is, so on this release it says House of the Laughing Windows, but I'm pretty sure the film is just called The House with laughing windows. um, so, but yeah, for some reason, we are in desperate need of a proper release of this film because it is so good. And I mean, this is kind of like, it's not a bootleg, but it's just like a really low budget company that put this out. So yeah, I'm really hoping for a Blu-ray or 4K or anything like that for this film, because so the director's Pupi Avati, and it was really, really well made. And this is for me, it's a genuine scary movie. Like, it's the most horror film, I would say, out of any of these Giallo movies. The ending is really creepy, and I mean, the whole thing is actually really creepy. It really, really surprised me. They did a good job on that. And my number 11, I chose The Girl Who Knew Too Much. So this is considered like the first ever real Giallo film by Mario Bava. I believe it was 63 or around 63. Yeah, 1963. Yeah, and it's a black and white one, which is rare, but it was cool. Like it was different to see one in black and white, and really, really kind of set the bar. And it's not so gory and violent. It focuses more on just like the mystery of and trying to solve what's happening. But at the same time, it's really cool. Like a cool story. Some really cool black and white type shots and stuff. It's just a solid movie. The Girl Who Knew Too Much. And shout out to The Man Who Knew Too Much by Hitchcock, because there was a play on that title, and I thought that's a really good idea to name a movie like that. I wish I had thought of that before him. Anyways, so yeah, that was 11 just off my top 10. Now my top 10, I have The Stendhal Syndrome by Dario Argento. This one is really cool, like really, really shot well. There's a couple weird CGI parts, but a few of them genuinely work. Because this is like when CGI was just kind of coming out, but it actually kind of works in a few situations. But other than that, though, it's a really, really interesting story, and with the reveal and everything, I thought it was really dark and kind of like messed up and everything, but it was really cool at the same time. And yeah, it was just shot beautifully. I really like the scenes like in the beginning with her in the museum, and what she does is she kind of stares at a painting or whatever, and she feels like she can like transport into the painting or something. And it's just really cool idea for a movie, and it's really well done. My number 9 is again Argento, The Cat O' Nine Tails. For me, this is a really some people kind of, I guess, are kind of mixed about this one, but I thought it was really good. There's some really cool scenes with like the milk, and some cool car driving scenes. And I like the blind guy. What's his name? Carl Malden or something. yeah, like I liked his character, and just to have like the blind guy in a giallo, I thought was a good idea. Um, and some people aren't crazy about the reveal of why the killer's doing this or whatever, but I actually really liked it. I thought that was a cool a cool explanation as to what was going on throughout the movie. And yeah, it's a really solid sophomore film. And my number 8 is again another Argento film, The Bird with the Crystal Plumage. I think it was just maybe slightly better than The Cat o' Nine Tails, but to me they're pretty much on the same level. And they were made like I think almost in the same year, like 1 year apart or whatever, because it was such Bird with the Crystal Plumage was such a big success that they kind of just churned out a second one right away. But yeah, you can see why, because this Argento like changed how giallos were, like the course of giallos with this film. So it was his first film, and yeah, they really like he stepped up the game, and there's really cool sequences in this. Really cool, just how they like the killer was more creepy, and the shots were really good, and also just the way that the story all ties together, and the reason, like kind of like the twist ending kind of things are really cool in this. So yeah, for that reason I put it slightly higher than Cat o' Nine Tails. Now my number 7, I chose The Red Queen Kills 7 Times. Fittingly, I put it at 7. but yeah, and this is by Emilio Miraglia. But yeah, so really cool villain in this. I mean, like killer villain or whatever. Like the outfit and everything was a really good idea, I thought. Genuine good story that I was like invested in, and wanted to find out what was going on. So yeah, like they did a really good job with that. And just like the there's like 2 sisters, and one's like blonde and brunette, and then like just the story of their family and everything. I just thought it was really entertaining. And the queen, like every time she's like killing people and like laughing and shit, it's just a badass character in my opinion. So yeah, I think anyone should go check that out. My number 6, I chose The Psychic by Lucio Fulci. This one for me is really well made. Yeah, some people I guess aren't crazy about this. I think I maybe like it more than the average person, but yeah, for me it was really like artistic. Like there's not that much like killing and like blood and guts and stuff, which is maybe what some people want. But it's real for me. It was just really well made, artistic, like well shot, well paced. So it's just like really good all the way around. So and like just yeah, like how she can kind of see things happening, and she's not sure like if she's seen the future, like she thinks she's seeing the future or something. But yeah, so it's really yeah, I really enjoyed this one. My number 5, we got Argento again, Opera. Really, really, sorry, I keep saying really, but yeah, it's such a cool movie. And the way it's shot and everything, it's like it all works so well together, and it like creates a vibe like throughout the whole movie that's just like kind of its own. And it is like, it kind of, yeah, it's like you're at an opera, like watching this shit go down kind of. And this killer like forces this girl to watch as he kills people. So she wears these things on her eyes here to keep her eyes open, right? And there's some intense like shots with that. And yeah, it's just a crazy movie, and it's just, yeah, it's just really one of Argento's masterpieces for sure. Okay, now my number 4, I have 2 copies here I'm gonna show. So my number 4 is Blood and Black Lace by Mario Bava. And it says here Mario Bava's Giallo masterpiece, and I would agree, because it was my favorite film of his, or like my favorite Giallo of his. Mainly because, so like has a good story and everything, and a good like, you know, like a memorable reveal and all that. But the main thing about this is just the way it's shot, and the colors, and the cinematography that he did in this was just so gorgeous, and yeah, he killed that. And some really cool shots and scenes, like that's his big thing, like shots and like composition and cinematography and everything. It's just so on point. And some really cool, yeah, like really memorable like parts in this. And I just wanted to show off this little cool steelbook I have. You can see there, Blood and Black Lace, and the back. Yeah, I found this at like a local place I check out, and it was expensive, but I just had to buy it. Like, I'd never seen it anywhere, and I was like, you know what, damn, I just gotta buy this no matter how much it is. All right, my number 3 is All the Colors of the Dark by Sergio Martino. This one really blew me away. It's like watching a Hitchcock movie, because there's a lot of scenes in this that really reminded me of Hitchcock, with the suspense and everything, and just the way it's shot, and how it looks and all that. And plus there's some amazing dream sequences, and just strange sequences or whatever in general, but blew me away. Edwige Finish is also in this one, looks gorgeous. Yeah, it's just a really, really well made film. And I felt like what little glimpses you could see in Strange Vice of Mrs. Ward. It's like, this is like the better version of like that film. Like kind of, yeah, like his masterpiece. Like everything is good in The Strange Vice is like, this is like the you know, like the best versions of that, in my opinion. Okay, my number 2, I chose Tenebrae by Dario Argento. And yeah, this is just like, it's getting to a point where these last 2, there's not much I really have to say. It's just like, if you've seen them, you know how amazing they are. Their shots, the music in this, just everything works so well. It's exactly like, this is like everything that you want to see in a Giallo film. Really cool deaths, amazing music, like really cool shots and compositions and stuff, color, like awesome colors, you know, crazy killers with freaking leather gloves, like yeah, you just hit the nail on the head with these movies. And yeah, so and this one has a really good story that like has you intrigued, at least for me anyway, like a story that really has you invested, wanting to find out who the fuck this is. And yeah, it's just awesome movie, man. And my number one, as you can probably guess by now, Deep Red by Dario Argento. I checked, and he had 6 movies in my top 10, which kind of goes to show that he, well, at least for me anyway, well, I mean, for most people, he was like making the top Giallo films. Yeah, he just like took them to another level, made them so good, so cool. Really, yeah, like this one in particular is such a masterpiece. Like it's just, yeah, like if you've seen it, you know. If you're watching this movie about, I mean this video about Giallos, you already know how good it is. So it's not much I gotta say. It just gives my top recommendations all around. Amazingly well made. Now I wanna give a few cool little shout outs for what I was saying earlier, movies that weren't made in Italy or whatever, but to me they pretty much are still a Giallo film. The oldest one I've ever seen is The Spiral Staircase. It, like, if you watch this, you can see where, I feel like you can see where Mario Bava got his inspiration for Blood and Black Lace. It's like some shots are almost identical, like in my mind. And yeah, it's just really this seems like a typical Giallo film. This one, Alice Sweet Alice. This is like an American Giallo film. Really, really, really cool. Recommend this one if you haven't seen it. And a more modern one here, Malignant. This is like James Wan version of a Giallo, and has a cool reveal and twist and everything. Creepy kills, and yeah, it's a solid movie. And I wanted to also mention this film here, Black Sabbath. So this is like 4 kind of short stories by like Mario Bava. And so only one of them, called The Telephone, is a Giallo, like it's basically like a 15-minute Giallo film or whatever. And it's really, really, really well done. And I'm like, damn, if this was like a full movie, in like shot in that style that he did and everything, it would have been like one of my favorite Giallo films for sure. But yeah, it just looks gorgeous. That I definitely recommend watching that section of this film called The Telephone. It's just gorgeous. And then also I just wanted to quickly give a shout out to the 2 best named Giallo films of all time, in my opinion, which are The Strange Color of Your Body's Tears, and to me the best film name that has ever existed is Your Vice is a Locked Room and Only I Have the Key. Just wanted to give a shout out to those 2 films for having the best titles ever. All right, that's it for me. This is a 40-minute video now, so I'm gonna stop it there. Yeah, so it was fun, experience, watching all these back and coming up with my list. And everyone comment down your favorites that I didn't mention, or just your favorites in general. All right, thank you. Bye.